Today, March 30th, 2025, marks the 5th anniversary of my time uploading videos as Rock. I've been doing this for 5 years. Half a decade has passed, and in that time, I've learned a lot. I'm absolutely not going to claim to be some YouTube master. I haven't learned all that there is to learn, and I'm sure over the next 5 years, I will look back on this video and think, God, I really didn't know what I was talking about. But for now, I just wanted to celebrate the occasion of 5 years doing this by telling you some of the most important lessons that I've learned on my journey. And I'm going to start with the first and most important lesson, which is to be yourself. I know, it's really cliche, everybody says it, but everybody says it for a reason, because it is true. I mean, the site is called YouTube, you know? You're supposed to be yourself. And yes, there's an argument to be made that doing this is better algorithmically, and it helps you grow an audience, blah, 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 but that's not actually even what I'm talking about here. I spent almost 4 of my 5 years here as more or less a clone of someone else. We all know who. We don't need to say who, but I spent most of my time not truly being me. I was just doing what someone else had done and I thought would work. And I realized eventually that that was making me miserable. I started putting my own personality into my videos and making them the way that I would want to make videos if I wasn't beholden to some rules that I'd made for myself because someone else did it. I just started making stuff that I wanted to watch and that I wanted to make, that made me feel inspired and made me really excited to work on videos. And I wish I had have done this sooner. I can't express how much more I've enjoyed the video making process since I started injecting my own personality into it. And that's the core takeaway here. Being yourself on YouTube is not about gaming the system. It's about doing everything you can do to ensure that you enjoy the process. And you know what? Trying to be true to yourself is a really good way of figuring out who you are and what you like. Never before would I have thought, I'll make a plush video, people will care about that. I didn't think anybody would care about that, but I do. It's interesting to me, and I was being true to myself when I made that video, and I'm so happy with it. I've started doing videos on game analysis and game development because I love game development. I've been doing it with uni for the past couple of years now, and there is just nothing that compares to working on a mechanic for so long and finally getting it to work and seeing it work. There is no euphoria that even remotely compares. Being truly, authentically yourself is a one-way ticket to enjoying YouTube. That being said though, lesson number 2 is it's okay to play to the algorithm a bit. I'd spent so long when I was making these videos thinking I can't possibly, acknowledge that I'm in a YouTube video. I can't talk about the process. I can't try and sort of meld my topics to be appealing to the current trends and the current niches that are working. Because I thought that doing that was to try hard. If you try and appeal to the algorithm and do things that will help your channel grow, I thought people would hate that and that my channel wouldn't grow. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you should exclusively chase what the algorithm wants you to do what's working and only ever work towards that. No. But it's okay to take inspiration from what's working, what the algorithm is currently promoting. It's okay to look at that and think, if I was doing this for my niche, how would that look? It's okay to have an idea for a video and then look at titles and thumbnails that are currently doing well and think, okay, could this be something that could be adapted into my video, into my topic and my niche? The algorithm is not something to be scared of. nor is it something to like shy away from. Use it to your advantage. Try and learn from it. And you know what? I'm just going to add a little sub lesson in there. Analytics are your friend. I used to be so scared of opening up the analytics tab, I just didn't do it. I was comparing a video recently to, I did a video recently on backlogs and how to defeat your backlog as a gamer. And I've already done a video a few years ago now about gaming backlogs, and I thought, wouldn't this be interesting to see how the performance compares on those things? And it was the first time that I'd actually seen a view graph or a retention graph for any of my older videos. Because I didn't understand, right? I didn't understand what I should be looking for. I didn't want to get caught up in the numbers. I thought, I'm doing what is right for me and my content. Everything else will sort itself out, it's fine. And 9 times out of 10, that's just not true. There are lessons to learn from your video analytics, and you should try and understand them. I have an idea for a video that kind of, it's in this series, the Road to Full-Time series. And basically it's just explaining what the most important metrics are. But like, there are already resources for this, and you can kind of, so like, YouTube does a good job of explaining more or less what you should be interested in and what it means. So you should try and understand those analytics and what they mean for your content, because they can be really revealing. They are genuinely a tool. They are not something to be afraid of. So the algorithm and analytics, they are your friends, I promise you this. And then I think the third and most important lesson is to find your community. I feel like I was lucky enough to have a pretty decent community, even when I had quite a small subscriber base. People would comment on the videos, and I'd see the same names every now and then, and I actually made friends through the comments, the most notable of which being MoqaTea, a fellow content creator. He commented on one of my videos, and we became really close friends through that. And I think it's really important that if people are taking the time to comment on your videos, you absolutely should reply. I'm not great about this, admittedly, and that's just because I try and spend as little time online as possible, weirdly. But I will eventually reply to most comments that I get. But yeah, I'm not always the best at replying to comments, but it is still something I think is really important to do to help build a little community on your channel. But beyond that, you should try everything you can to make content creator friends. Make friends who are making similar content to you, because genuinely, it will be life-changing. And I can give you an easy example of this. Obviously, I made friends with MoqaTea, and then when I was, becoming more active on Twitter, I had a fellow by the name of Lemleyton, Lucas Lemley. He messaged me and was just like, hey, I'm doing a video about small creators, would you like to be interviewed for it? And I said, yeah, man, absolutely. So me and Lemleyton, we became friends, and through that video, I discovered a lot of other creators. Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it was Smashmax, Luminos, and Memelon. All great creators, you should definitely check them out. And Lemleyton and MoqaTea, I'll leave links to everybody in the description. And then a little while after that, Smashmax, from the same video, he sent me a message and just said, I'm about to open up a Discord server, would you like to be in? And I'd used Discord maybe 4 times before that, but I just said, yeah, sure, I'll join in. And that was the single best decision I ever could have made, because suddenly I was in a full-blown community of creators, and they're genuinely the reason I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Without their assistance, without their encouragement, without them helping me see the flaws in what I was doing, but also see my own strengths, I would not be doing Road to Full Time. I would not be doing most of what I'm doing on YouTube right now, I would have continued to be a clone of a certain individual. I never would have had the confidence to break free from that mold and to truly be myself. And the best part about having a community is that everyone has different skills and different perspectives. Everyone is interested in a different thing. Everyone has a different background, and that diversity of individuals, it really is helpful in a lot of ways. Of course, just on the social side, it's great to talk to people from different backgrounds and who have different feelings and views than you. That's just a great thing. But it also means that you can ask for feedback on thumbnails or titles and videos, and you will have a wide variety of perspectives to help guide your vision. And this truly has been the best part about getting to be a part of this community. Obviously, I love everyone there, and I'm so grateful to have them as friends, but we do use each other for feedback and for inspiration, and we help each other. We all thrive because of each other. And if there is one main thing that you take away from this video, it's just how helpful and how validating that can be, because the creator experience is actually a very lonely thing. At least from my experience, I sit in my room, I make these videos pretty much entirely alone. I have some editing help every now and then, but I wouldn't even have that were it not for this community. I am the sole writer, editor, videographer, presenter. I do all of this myself. And were it not for this community, it would be very, very easy for me to be blindsided as to what is actually the most beneficial thing for me to be doing, because I'm just one guy with one set of ideas and one set of experiences. So yeah, if you can find creator friends, hold on to them dearly. I beg this of you. And that's about all I have to share. I mean, obviously I've learned a lot more in the past 5 years than that, but I feel like this is the most generally applicable advice. You know, I could say stuff like, keep creating, but everyone kind of already knows that. People are going to do that anyway. I could tell you the ins and outs of all the editing stuff that I've learned, but that's boring. But I think one thing I will also say is that success takes time. In general, but especially on YouTube. In 5 years, I have seen what a lot of people would consider no success, right? But to me, because success is relative, I'd say I've had a really successful 5 years. I'm knocking on the door of 3,000 subscribers. I'm monetized. I have a lovely, lovely little community going on. And I genuinely couldn't be happier with the journey I've gone on over these past 5 years. There are things I wish I had done differently or realized earlier, but overall, I have no regrets. I do not regret a single thing that I've done over this past 5 years. So if you've been here for any amount of that 5 years, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I hope that you'll continue to stick around. So for now, cheers to another 5 years. I don't drink alcohol, so this water bottle will have to do.